A date which will live in infamy.
Hilarious. Oh, hello. I'm Herlido, and this is True Internet Story. If you were to look up the definition of the word avant-garde, the phrase ahead of its time, and the saying not ready for prime time, you might have found 3 different ways to describe one thing: The Bjork Show. A show which had all the ingredients for success, but with its second airing received a record low number of views for this website. So join us as we decipher the recipe for failure on tonight's True Internet Story. The first Bjork video was a modern-day success story. With its irreverent humor, bizarre style, and amateurish video effects, it was one of the first hits on the That Guy with the Glasses website. The fans asked for a sequel. But then, a funny thing happened. The fans got what they wanted, but no one was home to sign for that package, so it sat on a neighbor's doorstep, unopened and unwanted. While the first video averaged around 30,000 hits, its sequel barely managed half that number. A subsequent recent reposting of the show added only another 3,000 views. The only video that it outperformed was something called the Aristocrats trailer, which, if I remember correctly, was that Disney movie about the jazz-loving cats. Anyway, the video was well below the expected number of views. It had a larger cast, a better budget, and superior special effects. So what went wrong? Well, to find out, we started with a phone call to the last ever guest of the Bjork Show, Weird Al Yankovic. Hi, this is Herlido from True Internet Story. I'd like to interview Weird Al about his appearance on the Bjork Show.
Hi, Herlido. This is Al, and I'm weird. Hello? Hello? Why don't people like me?
We turned away from outside influences and looked more at the cancers within. Some people blamed the failure of the Bjork Show on this man, Mr. Erik Grimswood, a Swedish television producer who'd been exiled to Icelandic public TV over his controversial views on evolution.
Well, my theory is this. As a child, a little kinder, I have what you call a Mr. Potato Head doll. And then I have their epiphany. You see, I realize we not evolved from their monkeys, we're evolved from the potatoes. Man evolved from vegetables. That's why vegetarians are murderers and the worst scum of the earth. But, of course, you can't publicize that theory or you would become a social pariah. So, when do we start filming? Oh.
Mr. Erik Grimswood, thank you for joining us today. Let me just say, you're a very handsome man.
Oh, thank you.
Men want to be you. Women want to be with you. I'm not gay, but even I find you sexually attractive. You, sir, are the most handsome man on earth.
Thank you. You've made me very uncomfortable.
He's humble too, ladies. Why do you think that the Bjork Show's second episode, for lack of a better word, bombed?
Well, it's no secret that I died twice during the filming of the Bjork Show. Of course, after the cameras turned off, Bjork brought me back to life. But once word came out that the Swede had died, the film became anathema to broadcasting. You see, Americans in special just love us beautiful people, so the idea of one of us dying on camera was just too horrible for them to even contemplate watching. Mr. Herlido, have you heard a word I've said?
I'm sorry. I was just lost in your eyes. One restraining order later and I was back on the streets. But I had learned one important thing from Erik: the location of the studios where Bjork filmed her show. As I drove from America to Iceland, I had to wonder just what would I find, and when I found it, would I wonder why I'd found it in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived. Down these stairs is the studio where Bjork filmed her show every week. Perhaps here we'll find clues as to why the show made such a dismal performance. shot of this. Get a shot of it. Okay. Well, it's obvious some sort of squatter lives here now, but what kind of depressed, sick loser could possibly live like this?
Have you been helped?
No, in fact, I haven't. I'm Herlido, and this is True Internet Story. We're investigating what went wrong with the Bjork show. Who are you?
You're investigating the Bjork show and you don't recognize the only guy with a blue face to ever appear on the show?
Fargo?
No. I'm John Malaya, Bjork's ex-genie. Ever since Bjork fired me, I've just been sitting here.
So, you're a genie. Does that mean you can grant my wish?
Is your wish to see blue genital herpes?
No.
No. No, I can't grant your wish.
So, if you're a genie, that means you must live in a bottle.
Huh. Yeah, a bottle of Hennessy.
A genie who drinks like that and doesn't eat is going to die.
When? Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's no food down here. I finished off bologna sandwich in Bargo weeks ago. Bored now. $1?
The bitter knowledge that I'd been mugged by that smug blue son of a bitch was tempered with joy. On the drive back to Americaland, we received news that Bjork herself had just arrived in an airport in the small town of Bangkok, Indiana. She was in town for a one-night-only interpretive mime performance of her film Dancer in the Dark. We rushed to meet her and hopefully get her thoughts on the demise of the Bjork show. Oh, here she comes. Bjork, welcome to Bangkok. Thanks, mysterious stranger.
Please, call me Superman.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
I'm sorry, Mr. Verlido. I thought you were one of the shadow demons from Dimension L. They're out to get me, you know. But you know what'll make everything all better?
What?
Butterflies!
Butterflies?
Butterflies!
You blow a fuse, sing boom, the time will cut loose. Sing boom, so what's the use? Wow! Of falling in love.
In the end, who can say why one show fails and the other succeeds? All I know is that we danced into the night, and when I woke up the next morning, I was in a tub of ice and missing a kidney. Good night.
It's oh so still. You're all I know, and so peaceful until.
On the next True Internet Story. To many, Spoonie is an icon. His video game reviews consistently entertain and inform. But we take a look at his mysterious past and what he doesn't want you to know about. 10 years ago, Spoonie was part of the Breakfast Bunch, and along with his partners Knifey and Forky, taught kids the value of a well-balanced breakfast. But what really happened to Knifey and Forky on May 12, 2002, when their bullet-riddled bodies were found in an abandoned warehouse in Encino? And why is Spoonie spending hundreds of thousands of his own dollars to keep the investigation into their deaths closed? We'll find out on the next True Internet Story.